Deep in the ocean, an orca pod is on the hunt. But these aren't your average orcas. These guys are organized.
Marketing team, did you get those social media posts scheduled for the SEAL migration?
Aye, Captain. We even have an automated notification for all pod managers when they go live.
They use Monday.com to keep their teamwork sharp, their communication clear, and their goals in sight. Monday.com. For whatever you run, even orcas. Go to Monday.com to dive deeper.
Regen auf mein Kopf. Hinter via Deckelbus ist die kleine Fahrt beim Top. Geht mir kein Sach mit, die Tropfen.
Welcome to Kill Me Now with Judy Gold. I am your host, Judy Gold. Thank you for being here. This week we have part 2 of my interview with the hilarious, fun, I love this woman, Jackie Fabulous. I love her name. I love everything about her. So I hope you enjoy that. I know that this is the beginning of the end. Well, it's the end of summer, which is kind of depressing. But look, we have the climate change, so it'll stay warm. Anyway, I hope you enjoy. Sit back, relax, and I hope you laugh. Laugh and think. Those are my 2 favorites. So you work at Caltech in Pasadena and you got fired, but you had been doing stand-up at night. And you had taken this class, and after you got fired, we're like, I'm going for it. And you got unemployment.
The day I got fired, I remember I called David Arnold. He's a comedian.
I love David Arnold. I have him written down. That guy, what did we do together? We did something together. He's so fucking funny. And his wife is really hot. And he's just a great guy. I love that guy. If you talk to him, will you tell him I said hi?
I will. He was like one of my involuntary mentors when I lived in Cali. I forced him when I met him. I'm like, I need to have you coach me. I called him the day I got fired. I remember I got fired. I remember, and I went to Macy's afterwards, I think.
Oh, how Jewish of you. Yes.
And I was shocked. I guess I was like, okay, I was sad, so let me buy something. And I remember I called him, and the first thing he said to me was, "Good. Fuck that job. You don't want to be there." And he said that. I remember I texted Rodney Perry, and he was like, "Good." And Ron, I texted like 3 black male comedians because that's who I was always around.
Right.
And they were all like, "Good. You don't want to be there. You're good. We all told you why you got this goddamn job."
Right.
So when
I see why you had the job. I mean, the fear from your parents of like not having or being,
Yes, and I have to work, and I got unemployment for 5 years. Thank you, Obama, at the top limit. So I was okay, it's always devastating to get fired, but I needed it,
I find it fascinating that your supporters were black male comics.
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah, and I love that. And I feel like I had mentors like, Susie Essman was really wonderful and a guiding light. But I had mostly women comics who I could go to who were going through the same shit and just that I was or had gone through the same shit. And I just, I love that. And first of all, Chris Rock and I started about the same time. And I've told the story multiple times on the podcast. And when Catch a Rising Star, which was the club on First, it was the club, I heard, they had before phones, they had backup comedians sit at the bar in case someone didn't show up on the weekend because there was no way for them to contact. They were stuck in traffic. The train didn't work. And you would get paid $50 to sit there in case someone didn't show up. And Chris Rock and I were the backups.
My God.
And we used to sit at the bar. He's just the fucking great. I love that guy. Why can't I find anything on your relationship? Like the Will Smith thing. You were friends with Will or?
No, not friends. I booked a show.
Right, with him.
That he was producing, and it was shot in Vegas. And when I went to do the show, I met him there. And that's it. We had several conversations and very cordial exchanges. And I decided from that meeting when I met him that I actually loved him because he was a real person. He is a real person.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. A friend of mine just read his book and said it's just amazing, but it's just that other thing is just awful, that he, whatever. Okay. I can't with that.
It's a lot to unpack. I know it's hard to get into all that.
It's just like that whole thing with Will and Chris, it was just when I don't know if you watched it live. Yeah,
I didn't. I saw it, and then I'm like, "There's no fucking way."
Oh, so watching it, yeah. So watching it live, I remember we were watching it with friends, and it happened. He went up there, and I knew immediately. I mean, because I've known Chris for so long, and I've been a comedian for so long, I knew immediately that was not planned.
Yeah.
And some people were like, "Oh, that was," and I'm like, "No," and I got physically ill.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, watching that, like, this guy's doing a fucking stupid joke about a movie at a fucking, award show about films.
Yeah.
And the first thing Chris said was over whatever the name of the movie was, over the fuck is the name of the movie with the G.I. Jane. Yeah. He said a G.I. Jane joke, because for a comic, it's about G.I. Jane. It's not about, whatever. So that made me sick to my stomach.
In Will's apology, he did like mention that I've heard that he's like, because of my history with Chris. So, what part of this that no one ever understands or cares about or talks about is like, when men have history and we don't know what the history is,
right?
This shit could be so trifling and horrible or just silly, and we don't know what triggered Will to be like, I got to handle this now. Like, he probably snapped, blacked out.
Right.
Yeah, that's a blackout.
It's also that's their go. Like, I know I have 2 boys, conflict resolution is beating the shit out of your brother. That's what it is. Like, fuck you. And I'm like, stop, stop it.
Yeah.
Just, we're women and we're like, let's talk it out. Let's just sit in the feelings. I love this, but you end up, oh yes, I wrote David Arnold, mentor. And it was interesting that you said after you got fired and they were like, yay. There was something that you missed about having a day job, which was the structure of getting up and knowing what you were going to do for 8 hours, because you would get up and do your shit for 8 hours, but then you would go out. Then you had another life, but you were not bored. And obviously I know, as someone who worked for a little while before you're thinking about something else at work all day long. You're thinking about, when I get on stage. So you have something to look forward to.
You know what I used to love? When I would have like hot ass shows on the weekend and go to work on Monday. And they're like, how was your weekend? In my head, I'm like, you have no fucking idea.
I know, right?
It was unreal.
Yeah. And they're like, and you're like, what did you do? And they're like, we planted some
basil,
tomato plants and basil in the garden. And we watched, and you're like, I was at a club and I met this one and I worked with that. I know. Yeah. So you then went on what's the fucking show? Last Comic
Standing. Yeah. Now, I was eliminated during the commercial break.
I know, I love it. But here's the thing. I don't like competitions around comedy because it's such a subjective thing. You know what I mean?
You know what's funny? And this is probably the only time it'll be a public story. I remember I did it. I got critiqued by Roseanne and Keenan Ivory Wayans and Norm Macdonald, rest in peace. And I was still livid because of Norm Macdonald's critique of me. And it's probably on tape somewhere, I don't know. But when I was done with my set, Roseanne was like, I love her, blah, blah, blah. And Norm said, I'm not sure what you were talking about, but I think you're gorgeous and I want you to come back.
That is so objectifying.
Where is the tape? I can't, because
you can find that.
And I at the time I was so outside of my mind, like, I'm on TV, I'm not really here, but I'm here. And Keenan was like, you came out here with a lot of swag and blah, blah, blah. They both put me down for being confident.
Right.
I made the audience laugh, and Roseanne was like, she great. What's the problem? Like, let's go on.
Isn't it incredible? Isn't it fucking incredible that they objectify? You're not look, when I started, it was like, this was my intro. Our next comic is female. She's a woman comic. And I've told this story a million times as well, but then I would get on stage and say, that was our MC. He's male. He has balls and a cock. He has a penis. He's standing. Like, I just give it right back to them. But it's so off-putting when they're judging you and objectifying you. And Roseanne, the only female, is like, she's funny. That's all that matters is she's fucking funny. And they're like, she's pretty. And you have confidence. Fuck you.
He didn't keep talking about how much swagger I had. And
You deserve to have fucking swagger. Fuck you.
A lot of guys don't like when women have too much confidence.
I know.
How long have they been doing it? And I'm
right.
Like, eat a dick, all of y'all.
Yeah, go fuck yourself. Okay. You have talked about yes, getting eliminated on the commercial break, which and it reminded me I did Chopped All Stars.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you felt like this, but so we did the on the Food Network, and it was me, Layla Ali, Joey Fatone, and Johnny Weir.
Mm-hmm.
And they had the appetizer where you open the basket. And I, of course, my food tasted great. I got eliminated for presentation. I'm the mother of 2 boys. I'm not fucking, look like.
I'm not going to get parsley and garnish a plate.
Right. So meanwhile, Johnny Weir, who's never cooked in his life, doesn't even season the chicken, but has flowers and he fucking doesn't get eliminated. Okay. And I got eliminated after the first thing. And I remember I had PTSD. I had chopped PTSD. CP. Getting eliminated is so, what, isn't it just?
Especially when you know you're qualified. You're like,
yes!
Look, people, you guys give me at least round 3 for fuck's sake.
Were you devastated and couldn't say anything?
I was. I remember I was devastated, and I was told they made me come back that Friday and go to full hair and makeup in case there was a wild card spot, because Wanda Sykes and Paige Hurwitz, they were the producers, Paige Hurwitz, and they were like, Jackie, come back on Friday, because this is clearly, we thought you'd last a little longer than that. I came back on Friday, and they were still like, nope. So I'm like, okay, y'all just
see. Wanda and Paige know exactly what's up. Okay.
Yeah. And
I love them. They fucking rock.
Yeah.
And Paige is another one who has, she was a stand-up. The best producers are stand-up, are people who, and the best club owners are people who have been on the fucking stage and know exactly what it's like. And
every time I see Paige, I'm like, you want to go do a set? She's like, Jackie, I am not a comic. I'm like, yes, you are. Yeah. Forever. I don't give a shit what you do.
And Wanda's I just fucking love her. Anyway, and that's funny that so they thought, oh, we're going to have, because they knew your talent. And it's same with Chopped. The next, in the entree portion, they open the basket and there's matzah in there. So they thought I was going next, matzah. They thought I was not going to be eliminated, the producers, because they put matzah in, and none of those people knew what the fuck to do with matzah. I would have made matzah bread, but whatever, it doesn't matter.
I remember I texted and relied a lot on Tony Baker because he was on the show with me.
Yeah,
he talked me down from like all this sadness and depression. And he's like, he was like, this is what you do. Fuck this show.
Yeah, it's just like 3 fucking people. 2 of them are not yeah.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. You chose to hit play on this podcast today. Smart choice. Make another smart choice with Auto Quote Explorer to compare rates from multiple car insurance companies all at once. Try it at progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
You then went on America's Got Talent.
Yes.
Which I can't believe you would do that after that fucking experience.
The year before I did EGT, I remember I was like, my producer from the show was like, you want to come audition? For the producers, right to it. And I'm like, I was like, I don't want to do reality. I told myself never do a contest again. So I did the audition in Pasadena and I phoned it in. And of course, nothing happened. The following year, I was like, all right, the show is clearly a big deal.
Right.
let me hit them up and be like, can I try again? So they say, okay, send us a video. They go, okay, just come back and do the show. I'm like, you audition? Like, no, just come do it. You're clearly a pro. So they made me get over the stigma of, don't do a contest again, because they wanted me so bad. They were so like, please come.
Right.
You're clearly
you felt
welcome. I felt welcome.
Right. And validated. Yeah.
And exactly. Even though it's I'm competing against poodles and horses and shit.
Right. But I know, but that feeling of going into hair and makeup at Last Comic Standing, like, oh, well, we're going to prep you for rejection, for a possible rejection. It's
I
so
remember
fucking, it's so fucking soul crushing. You know, it's funny that you wanted to be a lawyer because Jillian on Ryan's Hope had such an ego. And here you are in this fucking every night. You don't know what the fuck you're going to feel like after you're all right.
Is it just? I want Last Comic Standing to come back. Do you? Why wouldn't it come back now? Wouldn't it be a good time now?
I guess so. I just wish they would be fucking nicer. You know, there's got to be I don't know. But people are just so fucking mean. Anyway, so you then go on America's Got Talent, and Simon comes on stage.
Yeah, I'm still shocked about that.
And he hates stand-up, right? He's not a big stand-up person.
Everyone told me everyone there and backstage who like didn't work there but kind of worked there. They were like, I don't know if you know this, but Simon doesn't like comedy. And I'm like,
and it's always a nice thing to say before you're going on stage. And I was
like, why have I been told this 6 times?
Right.
Like, does he not laugh ever? I've seen him laugh.
Right.
So I took that like I do every other show. I'm like, I don't care. I'm gonna do this set. So I went out there and did it, and I was surprised how happy he was. But because even though it's him, you know what your power is, and I know that I'm going to disarm whomever is out there. Whether I run round 2, I'm going to be funny. You can tell me to go home, but you can't tell me I'm not funny. So I wasn't worried about that. So I was
You can't take that shit away from me. But I love when I heard you in an interview say it was really. You really just want to be validated by Howie because he's a comic, and and he did. He said you're fucking funny. I mean, there was who was the judge, the model judge who just didn't get comedy, who was on that, and
Heidi Klum, she's on it now. Yeah.
Oh fuck, you can't have someone without. Yeah, all right, whatever.
Everyone's like, Jackie. Not that you're not great, but to your credit, you had 2 American women when you did your season. Where now they have 2 women who are not American, and they might have been but women, like you said before, once my philosophy when I perform in any club or any room, once I get the women to laugh, the set is done.
Right. You're done. You have them on your side, and your comedy is so based in, it's truth and it's positive. It's like, this is who I am. Mm-hmm. Fuck you if you don't like it. And that's what I love about it. And I think women are like, yeah, it's empowering to women. It is. Okay. You get on America's Got Talent, which kind of got you so much road work.
Right before the pandemic.
Right before the pandemic. And you talked about, I heard you talk about being alone on the road and how horrible it is, which I've also talked about on the podcast about, but you're lucky. You have a computer, you have FaceTime. I know, listeners, shut up. But we had nothing. We had no phone. We had no computer. I would bring books and my clarinet. And I swear to God, I had one suitcase that was a junk drawer just to entertain me. You couldn't use the phone in the hotel. It was too expensive. Like, it was so isolating.
Wow, a different world. Okay.
I wanted to throw up. Like, if I actually sat here and went back to, and weeks, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, not interacting with people except at the fucking club, and being the only woman because there was never another woman on the show. And it was just fucking nauseating. So I get it. But I also think you're lucky that you're on the road at this point where you can have interaction.
Everything. I have all kind of entertainment.
Yeah. You move back to New York because you're bored in LA, which I love.
Nobody died, nothing happened. Just left.
Yeah. You just left, you start, and your career's just about to boom. Your father dies. Is it right before you moved back?
He died 5 years ago. So
5 years. I wrote 2000. Yeah, 17. Okay, I tried to figure it out from an.
You know how bored I was? Like, and I never said this but I guess I should start being more honest. I let Toyota repo my car. That's how much I wanted to leave.
Wow.
I paid them, no problem. I made enough money to pay that car note. But I was like, I was auditioning for everything. Big shit, not booking anything. So I just felt like whatever, I was a regular at every club in LA, but I was also not getting it. I wasn't becoming a better comic. I was very complacent, and no discredit to LA, but sometimes I would do shows and I'm like, I'm tired of being like the funniest one.
Right.
I shouldn't be. And I'm like, if I'm finding them more often than not, like the audience is like, you were the best one. You were the best. I'm in the wrong club.
Right.
I'm around the wrong comics. I'm not getting better. I'm just coasting. So I'm like, I'm not gonna lie. 90% of the reason why I moved back to New York is I wanted to become a better comic. And if I didn't have the cellar with open arms, like, oh, come to us, I probably wouldn't have moved back the way I did. But I'm like, I have a place to work.
Right.
I have a home to live in. I know the trains. I don't have to have a car.
Right.
I let everything go. And as soon as I came back, everything that I kind of wanted started to happen. So
It's amazing because people always ask me, young comics, oh, I'm going to go to LA. I'm going to go to LA. And I go, okay, well, what's your goal? Do you want to be a great comic or do you want to, be in TV and, and they're like, no, I want to be a good comic. I said, the only place is New York audiences don't let you get away with anything. The Cellar, Esty, will not. I fucking love Esty. I just want to say,
I love you too.
I've known her since, oh my God, 35 years. I started working there in 1987.
Okay.
Esty is the fucking queen, and Noam, and that place is a true. I don't even know how to. It's like my home. It's like home. It's like even on the days when, you just got rejected, and and then you walk in there and you're like, oh, this is what it's all about. It's a fam.
Yeah.
It's. I don't even know what to say. It's like my family.
I know.
Yeah. And so thank you.
Liz too. Shout out to Liz.
Oh,
too.
fucking Liz is the fucking best.
Liz is
Furion, I fucking love you.
Love Liz.
She is the best. Liz is the fucking queen ass best. I love her more than anything. And I love that everyone's afraid of her.
I was just about to say, it's my favorite thing when comedians are like, I think Liz hates me.
I know, I love
Liz don't give a fuck about you.
you motherfucker. She doesn't give a shit. They're all afraid of Esty and Liz, and it's fucking great.
And I'm like, I love them. They're the sweetest women. Why are y'all scared? Because
they're just, you know what? They're fucking strong, smart women. Liz is the fucking, Thank you for bringing up Liz, because now she can fucking kill me. Anyway, so you moved to New York City, October 2019. How did your, so your father died. Did you come back for the funeral?
I came back for a month in June when he passed away for the funeral. And then I went on right back.
And was it, how did your mother deal with that, and your Aunt Shirley and your sister?
I remember when I got the phone call, of course, at the crack of dawn, which is the worst calls to get from your family.
Right. Was it, were you expecting it, or it was sudden?
No, I remember it was about between 1 and 3 a.m. and my aunt called me and said that he was had blood clots and he went to the hospital and he didn't make it. And then but my aunt always sounds like somebody died. She's a very sad sounding woman. She always has this voice of, oh, Jackie, Lord, that's her.
Right. Oh, you got to put that in your act.
Oh, I do. All
right, good.
And then my mother got on the phone. The first thing my mother said, I remember to this day, she said, Jackie, I just don't know. Her first word. And I'm like, that's when I realized it was my dad who passed, but we weren't close. It was her husband, her life partner, her best friend of 50 years who died. So that's when I realized, oh, this is big for me, but it is the world
for her,
for my mom and my aunt, because he was their hero. So yeah, but he also, and he had Parkinson's. Mm-hmm. It progressed really quickly. And I could tell when he passed, like I saw him maybe a few months before he passed, I could tell that he was ready and on his way and preparing, because he had taken my mother to teach her how the car worked, teach her how things.
Oh, yeah.
He did all that. I remember he had the really gigantic gold ring that I wear all the time. And I took it. And I'm like, can I have it? And he was like, you know what? You can have it now. And I remember to this day, I'm like, he was giving shit away. He knew.
That's so nice of him to do that for your mother, because there's so many women of that generation who knew nothing and know nothing. Yeah. So your father dies. You then, in 2019, October of 2019, you move back to New York and you live in your room that you grew up in the Bronx with your mom and your aunt. What does your sister do?
My sister she just got her master's in social work from Hunter College.
Wow, smarty pants.
Yeah, so she's in her own apartment about 2 miles from us. She's working.
Oh.
She's doing a really
I love her.
for her life, yeah. And my aunt lives in the apartment downstairs. So in the main house with a 2-bed, 2 whatever is me and my mom. So it's a lot of space, but and I would be more inclined to live there if she would let me make room for me. But it's a shrine to my dead dad. It's khakis everywhere, trucker hats everywhere, appreciated suits. I'm like, if you would let me throw all this shit away or give it away,
she can't let go. She can't let go.
So there's no room for me there, emotionally or physically.
That's too bad. I find it interesting, the Jews, I'm a Jew, they bury right away because you're supposed to remember.
I love that. Get them out.
Yeah,
get them.
Bye, you're dead, you're gone, and you remember the person as they were when they were alive. Yeah. But yeah, I remember, my mother got rid of his stuff pretty quickly or in a normal amount because psychologically you have to move on with your life. You can keep some things, but yeah, you can't walk into a house of a person who's been dead for,
my mother's not a rational person, so that's who she is.
So, but, to each his own.
She's also in her 80s, so fuck it, do what you want.
Yeah. So you came back. You have been working nonstop. You do motivational speaking. I love that your mother's favorite comics are Kathy Griffin and Chris Rock.
I remember she's like, they're funny, Jackie. When I told her I wanted to do it.
Yeah. I love that. She's got a good taste in comedy.
Very good taste.
Yeah. This week's episode of It's Judy Show with Judy Gold is sponsored by BetterHelp. And if you know me, which I think you do because you're listening to my podcast right now, you know that I am a big advocate for therapy. I think it benefits everyone. I think there's so many people who need it, who don't partake. It is so important for your emotional health and well-being. Therapy is fantastic. It is in every stretch of the imagination. And if you're thinking of starting therapy, please do it. But please give BetterHelp a try. It is entirely online. It's designed to be convenient. It's flexible. It suits your schedule. You fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. I have switched therapists in my life. I've had many, many therapists, and sometimes it's not a great fit for you, but don't give up. Therapy is beneficial. You can learn about yourself. You can process and just be emotionally healthy. I'm telling you, do it. BetterHelp is great because, when I used to schlep to my therapist's office, it was so annoying. You have to do it and you sit there and you wait. And then I'm telling you, doing it online is fantastic. And BetterHelp is amazing. I know a lot of people who've used it. So if you're thinking about therapy, go to BetterHelp.com. Let the gratitude flow. This is Gratitude Month, people. So you need to let the gratitude flow with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/JudyGold, JudyGold, today, and you will get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/JudyGold. You're welcome. I have a couple questions. Were you really arrested for stalking?
Not for stalking, but for gun possession.
Tell.
Well, I was 18, me and my girlfriend, 18. We got in our guy friend's car, another 18-year-old innocent dude, but he made an illegal left turn. Oh, sorry. We went joyriding in his new Nissan Maxima, black, the little boxy one.
Yeah.
And we're driving. I'm in the front and the passenger, girlfriend's in the back. He stopped to let his boy in the car to continue the fun. But he made an illegal left turn, and that made the cop stop us. But then when the cop stopped us, the guy he let in freaked out because he had a gun on him. We didn't know. Took the gun out of his person and put under the seat of the car.
Yeah.
But because to do that, his head disappeared from the window.
Oh, boy.
So the cops were like, everybody got to get out now. We got to see what's going on. And they searched the car, and the law in New York, I don't know where else, but when there's a weapon in the car, everybody got to get arrested.
Right.
And we'll figure out later.
Oh, my God. So you got arrested, and then who did you call?
I Well, I got arrested. We got brought to the precinct, and then I called my family.
And what were they like freaking out?
Actually, we got brought to the precinct, but I didn't see my family until the arraignment. So it was me, but I was lucky though, because I had my girlfriend. They kept us together the whole time. So, and I remember to this day, because I had her, we were, of course, crying for the first 11, 13 hours. But then at some point, the crying stopped and we started joking around. Because we're like,
exactly. What else are you going to do?
Fuck? We're here. And I remember we were in this cell. They moved us from the cell alone, me and her, to the major cell where all the girls were. And this one guard kept coming around to do a head count.
Yeah.
And I remember Audrey, the girlfriend with me, she was like, who the fuck? Who are we going? Are we going between these bricks? Bitch, we are here. You keep doing a head count every hour. We're like, security here must be horrible because people are leaving. Where the fuck are we going? So I remember to this day, we were joking around because we're like, clearly this is it. So
were you scared with the other women or were you making them laugh?
No, I don't know if I was making them laugh, but I wasn't scared. I was kind of, this is what it is, you know, and
who's leaving?
Yeah, I was hilarious. A head count. And we're like, bitch, the same people are here.
That's so funny.
I've never talked about that till now.
I love. What did you wear? Were you in your regular clothes?
I was wearing a peach rayon short set, a t-shirt. It was peach and rayon, and I had the Huarache's leather sandals. And my hair was probably like this, because I've always had my hair the same way. And I remember I was sitting.
And you had the nails? Did you have the nails?
Oh yeah, I was all girly. I was in a summer outfit. And I was sitting on the edge of the bench, and I remember the men came in, and the men could see us because why not have them see all the women and make it more comfortable? And one guy walked past us and said, he said, "Baby girl, what you in here for?" I look so cute. I remember.
Did you answer him?
I didn't say a word. I was like,
God.
I'm not going to explain shit to you. I want to get out of here. I'll tell the girls why I'm here, but man, keep it moving.
That's so funny. Okay. You have said that you love comedy more than anything. I am same. And what's funny is Elisa, my girlfriend, because I do so much research and then I'll watch your sets and stuff. And so she was watching you and she's laughing. And there was one thing where you said, I love comedy more than, having a relationship, more than, and she's like, but that is the sign. I'm just whispering because she's upstairs. But that is the sign of a true comic. It's true. I couldn't live with that. I could not live without being able to get on stage and make people laugh,
I made my guy so worried the other day. The other day we were in his house and I was bored. You know what I mean? And I said to him, I'm going to go to the cellar. And he was like, you're not booked tonight. I said, yeah, but they'll probably put me up. And I want to go hang out and I don't want to be here. I'm bored. And he didn't understand, I had some place to go.
Right.
Every day. If I'm bored, I can just go anywhere, probably anywhere besides the cellar and go do a set. And they don't understand that feeling. I want to be around people like me sometimes.
Right. And we talk differently than to each other. We speak differently. What are you laughing at, Dar?
I have not heard you laugh this much on your podcast.
Oh, she told a story of being in jail because and the outfit she wore, and it's okay. So Elisa, who goes upstairs when I do my podcasts, just said I've never because the vision of you sitting there in that fucking outfit and the head count. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Elisa. Whatever. I love that you say your flaws are fabulous.
Yes,
I love
how you gotta have catchphrases to try and get a career.
But it's true. Okay, so I'm a big woman. You're a big woman. We take up space, which is also the reason guys are intimidated by us because, you have these petite women with big mouths they don't take up physical space, but we take up physical space and we have big mouths.
And I'm usually wearing something that's glow in the dark. Yeah.
Right. And I just fucking love that about you. And I love that you empower other women. I love that you talk to women about, just being confident. Oh, shut up. We got look at this. This is how Laura, our producer in the chat. Well, this is amazing. We need to start wrapping up. Smiley face. Shut the fuck up, Laura. You think I don't know what time it is?
I don't think you know what time it is because you're so wrapped up in this amazing conversation. And it wasn't a smiley face. It was a heart.
Oh, I don't know what it is. It doesn't come out. It looks like a fucking, parentheses in a fucking line. Okay.
I'm going to tell you to shut the fuck up.
All right. Yeah. What?
I will admit though, I've had a low key crush on you forever because you're never around long. You're always like, hey guy, bye. And then you're gone again. I never spend time with you longer than a 5 minute.
Oh.
You're so tall. You're this statuesque, amazing talent.
Oh,
I've loved you for years.
Jackie, I love you for that. I know I leave because I'm old now.
You're like a tornado. You come in, you're like, all right, this is what's going on. And bye.
I do. I just appear and disappear. But, thank you. That means a lot. I just love you. I've loved you when I first saw you. And people love you. Other comics love you, which is
huge.
Huge, YUGE.
Likability, I would say, is 85% of my career. People underestimate how likability almost is more important than talent.
Well, likability, because also then you get away with saying shit. You know what I mean? Yep. If they don't like you, you can't get away with half the shit you want to say.
You can't be like, here's my abortional story. They're
Right,
like, hey, what's going on?
Yeah, no, sorry. All right. I love you. I'm going to hang out more. But I've been in Provincetown. I'm writing a show. I'm writing, I wrote this book about free speech.
Yes.
And then I'm doing a solo show based on the book. So I'm here writing.
Always busy. That's why I look up to you also. You always find a way to have a job.
You know what?
Yes.
This is what I've learned in the 40 fucking years I've been doing. You have to reinvent yourself. You have to create content when you are a fucking woman. And when, you have to make the opportunities for yourselves. And so I wrote that book, and then I'm going to do a solo show based on the book. And then I'm still doing stand-up here. And it's just like, it's about being creative. And that I share that, I'm not going to be bored. I'm going to do something creative.
I remember years ago, Kathy Griffin, when she had her show, she was like, she said, you have to have your hand in all the fires.
Right.
They're like, why? Because I'm a woman.
Right.
That's why. I said that years ago. I remember.
You got to go look. There's an interview with Alan King interviews Joan Rivers. It's I saw it at the Museum of Broadcasting, but I think you can get it online. And she's in her 50s when she gets interviewed, and he's like, you're a legend, you're this, you have everything. And she goes, no one wants a woman over 50. Like, you have no fucking idea. And the ageism, plus the misogyny, plus the racism, plus the homophobia, it's like, go fuck yourself, and all these, I love these white guy comics now who are like,
I was about to say that, then they put on a Avengers t-shirt.
Yeah, it's really hard for me right now. It's really hard. You don't know what it's like to be blah, blah, blah. Oh, I'm so sorry. No one wants to hear your fucking stories about jerking off to porn with your Xbox, you fucking asshole.
Every time they're like, oh, white guys, they don't want white guys right now. I'm like, you're right. Go to hell.
Yeah. Fuck you. Okay, I asked my podcast guests 2 questions. Ready? And I just want to say, I know that it is 3 hours earlier for you. The fact that you have false eyelashes on, full makeup.
Oh, no, they're extensions.
Okay. Oh, I got to get that.
Get them and they last for a while. But
okay, whatever.
I was asleep when you got I was asleep. It's 8:30
Oh, that's nice. I know, but
I'm like, but it's Judy. Wake up. Wow.
Okay, these are the 2 questions I ask. Number 1.
Yes.
What do you do? We're very pro mental health. I have depression, anxiety, OCD, and ADHD. What do you do for your mental health? Go.
Honestly, currently, a lot of sex. When I lived in LA, I was not active. I didn't have a lot of sex when I was in LA because it was hard for me to lock it down. I'm engaged now, and my guy fuck constantly. It's amazing. It's changed my life.
Oh my God. No one
didn't
has ever said I just fucked my boyfriend for my.
I lie. I do, 'cause I didn't have sex a lot in Cali. I have the most underutilized vagina in the history of females.
Okay, that's not true. Have you met some of the elderly lesbians here in Provincetown? Okay. That is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, a lot of
sex. So, no meditating or exercising, just fucking.
Yeah, a lot of sex. 'Cause that sex is making me lose weight, and sex and meditation. I pray a lot.
Oh, I love that.
And I need quiet time. I'm one of those like Amy Schumer with the extrovert introvert.
Yeah,
I'm
same.
extroverted when I have to be, but then I got to turn all that shit off.
Same.
And I will sit in the corner at a party for 3 hours and watch it and have a great time.
Same. You know, it's like I've been to parties and people are like, tell the host, Judy wasn't really funny at the party. She was just sitting there. And I'm like, I'm not a fucking
clown.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's true. You want to come home and just be, and watch.
Normal.
Yeah.
And when I'm around anyone who wants me to be on, I'm like, this is the last time I'm going to hang out with you because I can't.
Yeah, exactly. And also when they're like, hey, or they come on, they act on around you and you're like, oh, shut the fuck up.
What are you doing?
Fuck you. Okay. Okay. And the last question. Now I call the podcast Kill Me Now because I get pissed over everything. Like I have you've seen my act. Like the stupidest things make me so fucking angry.
Yeah.
So what pisses you off more than anything in the entire, like makes you fucking crazy?
Mean people. It really drives me insane because I realize more now than ever is that life is so short.
Right.
People who are negative, people who complain a lot, people who talk about themselves incessantly and just really
narcissistic. Yeah.
Yeah, and that kind of thing. And I've been accused of being, I don't know. Friendships have been hard for me of late because the older I get, the more this is why you couldn't find anything about me. I don't talk about myself that much. I I prefer performing and I podcast every now and then. So, I mean people really, really make me sad. And I realize that but I'm learning it's not because they want to be mean, a lot of them because of how they were raised. They don't really know how to be nice, but I'm really big on, at this point in my life, being nice all the time, every day to everyone.
Yeah, you have to be. And also
so easy.
I know. And it's funny because you hit 50. I think 50 is a benchmark where you're like, go fuck yourself. Like, I don't care anymore. I don't care what you think of me. I don't care what you think of my jokes, my act. Because I've heard it all. Nothing you say to me is going to hurt me anymore.
And nothing has mattered when I gotta pay my bills. I'm like, no one I've ever heard say shit is in my checkbook right now. And I got to pay the bills myself.
Right.
So none of that matter. And when you're on stage, this is the most solo job you can have.
That's right. And in control.
No one there.
Right. And you're in control and you're controlling the laughter and go fuck yourselves.
Yep. That should be the name of your goddamn podcast.
Yeah. Go fuck yourself.
Fuck yourself.
Wait, Laura, we have to change the name to Go Fuck Yourself. What do you think?
You can't do that. Fuck in the title.
Okay, whatever.
Lame, like go fart yourself.
Go fart yourself. Yeah, you can't say anything anymore. Anyway, Jackie, thank you for waking up.
Thank you
to do this.
For having me.
I love you. I can't wait to see you in New York. I'll be back in a couple weeks. I'm going to hang out. We're going to have dinner at the Cellar. The two of us are going to take up a lot of space.
Yes.
And we're going to fucking talk and everyone can go fuck themselves.
I can't wait to hug your tall ass when I see you.
All right. I can't wait. Thank you so much for listening to part 2 of Kill Me Now with the one and only Jackie Fabulous. Kill Me Now is produced by Laura Vogel, edited by Colin Schmaling. This podcast would not be possible without the aid, help, and dedication of Brittany Jo Sowards. If you have not subscribed or left a review, really go fuck yourself at this point because I really need you to do that because 5 stars only, please. Because it helps more people find the podcast. And that way I can do it longer because I actually love doing it, even though it's a shitload of work, but I don't make any money. But I could pay my expenses if you would fucking subscribe and leave a review. That's how I talk. That was my mother, by the way. But in a weird mood. because she really talked like this. Anyway, so thank you for listening. If you are in the Rehoboth, the Delaware area, I am performing at the Camp Rehoboth Gala on September 3rd, which is the Saturday night of Labor Day, and you should get your ass there because it's going to be so fucking fun. So much entertainment, so much fun. Also, I will be at the City Winery in Philadelphia on September 17th. City Winery in Philly on September 17th. So I need you to get all of your asses there in the seats so you can laugh, because we need to fucking laugh. Okay, so that's all I have to say. I don't know how that orange motherfucking piece of shit is not in jail. I really don't. I mean, like, anyone else. I just don't get it. I don't understand. It's really driving me up a wall, a crazy, but I'm trying not to be angry. But it's really hard not to be angry, and especially watching these people win their primaries who are dumb, racist, homophobic, misogynistic, xenophobic, dumb, and dumber and dumbest. So that's our country now, people. So I hope you enjoy it. Have a wonderful end of the summer, even though it's really not the end of the summer, because it's gonna be hot for a long time. Yeah. So recycle. And thank you for listening. I really do appreciate it. I love all of you. Anyone who's listening to the end, I love you the most. You know, I just want to say that this podcast will begin airing on what would be my mother's 100th birthday. So this week's podcast is dedicated to my mother, as are all of my podcasts dedicated to my mother, because she was one of our first guests. She was actually on the first few episodes of the podcast. And so I want to wish her a happy 100th birthday, even though she's not here to celebrate it. And she'd probably be miserable. She'd probably be like, I can't believe I'm 100. Ugh. So happy birthday, Mom. And as we always say, so long.